How goes it? This is another episode of the Rift Lake Tribute Aquarium. I had a few questions regarding aggression with so many fish, including some Tanganyikans that are in there. I have some Neolamprogus, Sex fasciatus, the gold Kipley, which right now they're, I would say, young adults. So they get about 6 inches long. This is the first time I've kept this particular species of Neolamprogus. There's actually one right now that's somewhat focused on right underneath that piece of faux driftwood. But they're quite a beautiful fish. They have the vertical barring, which I really am a fan of. And they get this insane gold hue with purple margins along their dorsal fin, their anal fin, caudal fin. Pretty much all the fins, they get this wicked cool iridescence. And then there's another fish that's in there with the Mbuna. This is mainly an Mbuna tank, but a lot of people wouldn't necessarily mix like a Haplochromis. That's the Protomelius. But anyways, what I wanted to get into is actually sightline. So you can see there's a lot of rock, and this is actual real rock. A lot of people have like the backgrounds. I can't afford the background, so I just get massive amount of rocks, and you can't really see it, but the rocks jettison out. So if you can imagine being at one side, being like over here, being a fish, and then on the opposite end, being down there. So like this large boulder that jettisons out breaks that sight line, so you're gonna have less aggression that way. So I highly recommend utilizing multiple dimensions as far as bringing the rock or decor out, building up to what I like to call the layers or levels, almost like you're building an apartment building. It's really hard to see, but that pearl nut, there's that cave right there. I actually have 2 layers below that cave that are distinct cave work under and into the gravel. And it's really easy to do, and it adds a whole nother dimension for your fish. And I do like to somewhat set up areas for them to dig out naturally, so they will create their own space, but I do help it along a little bit. You know, the other thing that I highly recommend is feeding natural foods. And right now, there's I think that's my red top female, but she's pretty much sitting right along a piece of organic zucchini, green zucchini that I wedged in there. I removed all the skin. I'm not an ichthyologist, but I'm just trying to make the edible aspect of their diet more digestible. And I mean, she's like pretty much hovering over it. But you know what you'll find is, you know, as I've noted in research, in the wild, they pretty much are grazing all day. Granted, they're not going to be swimming as much, so their expenditure of energy is probably not needing to be grazing all day. But in my opinion, if you give your fish something to do, similar to like other animals, like a dog, if a dog has something to do, it's probably not going to destroy your house or destroy your yard or chew on things it's not supposed to, because it has a play drive. It has that innate predisposition to play and want to work. Same as fish. You know, they already know what they need to do. You know, they pretty much eat all day. They have sex, they eat, and they poop. You know, it's evolutionary ecology. So you have to maintain that for the animals that you're keeping. You know, it's us as an individual to maintain that, the integrity for these fish that we're putting in a glass box. You know, these are organisms, these are creatures. This might make me sound sort of hippie, but you know, you need to maintain that for the livelihood of the fish, you know, and that's one of the reasons why my fish look so good. I do 50% water changes weekly. I'm constantly changing the certain parts of the filter media. I always change the polishing pads weekly. You know, I feed them a wide array of foods: omega, New Life Spectrum, peas, zucchini, whatever I can, you know, that I've found that make them healthy, you know. So, you know, I've done some other research regarding carbon in the aquarium for the African cichlids, as well as nutrients that they need and require, similar to vitamins, just like us. So, you know, to answer the questions that I've been having, you know, having a distinct type of rockwork or decor that breaks up sight lines is going to help with aggression. Give your fish something to do. So, you know, it's like if you shove like zucchini pieces into the rock like this so they don't float, and they're able to graze on it. Like, look at that. Like that Metroclima OB right now is just totally gnawing down. Are they fighting over it? No, they're not. They're just taking turns. They're going in there. They're chewing on it. I have multiple pieces. There's another one over there. There's my male pearl nut. There's one of the gold sex fasciatus. You know, they're just chilling. You know, they're all taking turns on it. Yes, you're gonna see some particulate matter floating in the aquarium, but that's what your filter is for. You know, you don't have to leave the food in there all the time. You know, there's one of my Mbambas and one of the female Mbambas going at it. You know, it's just going and chewing on it. There's another OB Metroclima. So, you know, I'm a firm believer in giving your fish something to do. Some people will allow the algal growth to continue to grow, and they'll chew on it that way. I have a Haplochromis that pretty much keeps that under wraps, as well as not having the light on too long will reduce the algal growth. I think algal growth is sort of cool. Makes it look a little bit more natural, but usually I keep that somewhat under wraps. But you know, everybody has their opinions on it, and these are mine. If you don't subscribe to my ideas, that's totally fine. You know, it's like if you think something would be better, I'm all about hearing new ways of doing things. I've been keeping fish since 1992, and I'll tell you, if you're new to the hobby, things have dramatically changed since then. And constantly changing now with new knowledge and understanding. I mean, it's like they're finding new species in Lake Malawi, Tanganyika, Lake Victoria, all the time. So, you know, it's like there's multiple ways of doing things, just like tying your shoes. You know, it's like there's basically one way to do it, but why not learn a new way? Somebody might do it a little bit better than you, and definitely people do it better than I do. So if you have any comments, please go ahead and give a comment. I'd be stoked to hear them. Thanks everybody for the positive reviews on the videos thus far. And this is Adam saying goodbye, and have a great day.